Welcome everybody. We are live. My name is Diana Mayfield and I'm the head of content here at Design Files. We're back with another expert workshop. Today, Masha Koyen will walk us through her formula for converting website visitors into clients, and she's also going to live audit some of our members' websites. Masha is a seasoned messaging strategist and copywriter with over 14 years of experience working with big guns like Deloitte, OpenText, and Pearson before launching her own boutique copywriting agency, Content Vertical. Today, Masha specializes in website copywriting for the interior design industry. Welcome, Masha.
Thanks, Diana. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We're excited to get into this. We love it when we get to do, some audits, look at real examples, get really specific. So yeah, we're really excited about this workshop. So actually tell us where you're calling from though, before we dive in. Let's get a location question.
So I'm in Toronto, Canada, actually.
Okay, awesome. So as you might know, Design Files is based in Canada. So
I know.
Canadians all around, except for me, Californian over here.
Where are you located? California?
Northern California.
Awesome.
Yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to let Masha jump into her presentation. She's going to share some tips and strategies with us before she live audits the websites.
Amazing. Okay, Diana, thank you so much. And thanks to Design Files for letting me to speak to all of you. So today we're doing live audit of some of the websites that a few of you submitted, but I'm actually going to start with just sharing some fundamentals, some strategies, and then we can look at some of the websites. So let's jump right in. So like Diana already introduced me, my name is Masha Koyen, and I basically help interior designers land their dream clients through evocative copy that connects, copy that sells. I specialize in website copy. I exclusively work with interior design community, and my approach is a little bit different than others. I don't just write copy. I actually have a framework, a signature process, and which is a data-driven process, which means I'll get into my framework a little later on the later slides, but essentially I interview your clients and then I use the insights that I collected through these interviews and then weave them into your copy on the website. So the end result is the copy that actually resonates with your ideal clients. So this is me, and then let's get into it. So messaging fundamentals. I always like to start with a strong stat, and here's this one. A survey by House revealed that 90% of homeowners prioritize hiring designers who align with their project needs, a decision often influenced by the designer's website messaging and portfolio. So what this essentially means that even if your clients come from referrals, which is most of my clients that's what they tell me, most of their client base is referral based, their clients still will check out their website to validate what they know about you, to validate what they were told about you by their referral source, to basically understand how you align with their needs, whether you can help them, to learn more about you, to understand that human behind your brand. So website messaging is critical. So let's first talk about why messaging on your website matters. And the first one is kind of like common sense. It is your digital first impression. Like I said, even if your clients come from referrals, they still want to go to your website to better understand who you are, how you serve, whether they are the clients that you can help them with, whether you can help them solve their problems. So your website makes that first impression before you've even spoken with your clients. It is also a reflection of your brand identity and values, because you want to attract the kind of clients that align with your values. So your website has this opportunity to present what your values are all about, what you stand for, to make sure that you're attracting the right customers. The next thing is, it is a tool for showcasing your differentiator. And this is probably one of the most important things of your website messaging, because your website presents this unique opportunity to set yourself apart from your competitors, from others in the industry, to showcase that secret sauce, that differentiator, that X factor. That's what you do. And once you have that thing that sets you apart, it has to be front and center on your website. It has to be weaved all across your messaging on all the pages. It also connects and resonates with ideal clients. So like I said earlier, you want to attract the kind of clients that you want to attract. So you want to make sure that your website messaging is connecting to those exact clients. You want to make sure that it speaks to their pain points. You want to make sure that it resonates with those right clients. And then an important thing, it is the foundation for building trust and prompting action, because your website is not only there to answer some of their questions of your prospects, to showcase information about your business, but it also needs to help you build trust. And there are certain things which I'm going to share with you that act like trust signals on your website. And at the end of the day, your website, the goal of your website is to move prospects along to becoming a customer. So every line, every paragraph, everything on your website needs to prompt an action, needs to compel website visitors to act, whether it is to download a lead magnet or to get to the next step to schedule a consultation. So what are some of the fundamentals of effective impact messaging? I'm going to try to go kind of quick through these things just so we can get to the live audit and to talk a little bit about my framework. But the most important thing is the solid above the fold section. And this is the thing that you see, this is where your clients land first. So basically just before they start scrolling, this is your above the fold, everything that they see. Hopefully it's not just the image. A lot of the times I see on the interior design websites, it is just the image, which is such a missed opportunity, because you want to see the photo and you want to see some words. Because if you see just the photo, that means your photo has to work double duty to really gain people's trust and compel them to scroll down. So you want to see messaging work together with the photo to make sure that your audience knows that they landed on the right website, that you are there to help them, that you have the answers to their problems. The next thing is emotional benefits. Your website messaging has to present some emotional benefits. It has to connect with your audience on a deeper level. It can't just talk about what it is that you do and who you are as a brand. It really needs to connect with them, which is why I do my my interviews with clients, because I'm really trying to understand what are their pain points. And then we take those pain points and communicate them across your homepage and other pages. So when your clients land there, they recognize that you are the right person to help because you really understand them. The unique value proposition is something that I talked about earlier. This is your X factor, the secret sauce, however you want to call it. There's so many names for this thing, but it's essentially something that sets you apart in the marketplace. It has to be front and center. It has to be clearly articulated. The next point is clear, concise, and conversational copy. So don't just have like a big block of text, because that's overwhelming for anyone. Nobody's going to read that. The copy has to be skimmable, scannable, lots of headlines. It has to be easily understood, and go conversational. Like, interior designers are so great at being conversational on those social media channels, on their Instagram. But as soon as you get to their website, all of a sudden it's buttoned up and a lot more formal. So go conversational. That always wins. And then four more points: social proof. These are all the customer testimonials or the places where you've been featured in various industry design magazines or some other media. These all act as social proof. It helps people really gain their trust, and it builds trust, and people are a lot easier. It's a lot easier to hire you when they see those things that signal trust to them. Brand voice is absolutely critical, because that's basically the personality of your brand. How do you want to sound to your clients? How do you want to come across? Do you want to be conversational? Do you want to sound sophisticated, professional? It all depends on what your brand stands for and what your brand is all about. How do you want to sound? So make sure it is consistent throughout your website. Persuasive calls to action. That's absolutely critical and almost like a forgotten item on so many interior design websites. Like I said earlier, you need to move your prospects and your website visitors to a specific action. Most often it is to book a call. So you want to make sure to provide that guidance to your website visitors. And the last point on this slide is audience-centric language, which is critical, because a lot of the times what you see on the website is all we do this, we do that. But you want your copy to be audience-centric, meaning you want to address your audience. When you address your audience directly, you almost call them out. They feel seen, they feel understood, they feel heard. So that's critical. So let's jump into my framework. So I wanted to share a little bit about how I write copy, how I work with clients on their website copy. This is my framework that I developed specifically for interior designers. It is a 6-step process. So the first thing is R stands for research and discovery. And that's where I start every single web copy project. That's where I'm learning about your brand. I'm learning about the history of your brand, how what brought you here today. I'm also doing some customer profiling, really trying to understand who it is that your customer is, what are their pain points, how do they make decisions. And I'm also helping you identify your differentiator, that secret sauce. The next step in this framework is E stands for extracting key messages. So this is where I'm looking at all of your marketing assets and analyzing them, whether it's your previous website copy, I'm looking at your social media channels, and I'm just looking at message mining. Message mining is a bit of a term from copywriting. That's basically grabbing and finding those critical things that are important to your brand. And another important important element of this stage is that I'm also trying to capture your brand voice. So copywriters are really good at capturing your brand voice, because at the end of the day, if you're hiring somebody to do your copywriting for your website, you want to make sure that it sounds and feels like you. So that's what we do at this stage. And the next step is probably one of my favorite steps. This is voice of customer. And this is essentially client interviews. This is the most critical step in this process, because when you give me 5 of your clients, so as part of my process, I interview 5 of your clients. So when I'm doing that, what I'm trying to understand is the experience your clients have when they work with you. So I'm asking them things like, what made you hire this interior designer? What was your favorite part of the project? What were some highs and lows? What surprised you? What was the, did you consider any other designers before hiring them? So not only am I getting really amazing, rich customer testimonials, but I'm also getting the critical data that I then use to weave into the messaging to make sure that the website copy then speaks to those ideal clients. And then the next stage in this process is E. E is for evaluating competition, and that's essentially competitive analysis, pretty straightforward. I'm looking at 3 of your competitors that you provide to me as part of my client questionnaire. And then I just kind of look at how they position themselves in the marketplace. The next step is A is for architecture of content, and that's an outline of the content. That's probably one of my clients' favorite steps, because what that gives them is a clear strategic outline of what's going to go on their homepage, what's going to go on their about page, what's going to go on their services page. So we fully align on the copy, on the main critical messages before I even write a word of website copy. And then the last stage is basically website copy. So that's just in a nutshell my framework. I hope it was helpful. I think I'm just going to click out of it now, and we can jump into some websites.
Awesome. That was so great. Thank you so much. We got a lot of comments saying that was super valuable, and everybody's excited to be screenshotting the replay later. So thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to dive into the audits, and I'll hang around. Since you won't be able to see StreamYard, you'll just be looking at your screen. I'll hang around just to pop in if anybody has any clarifying questions or any tech issues. So I will be here with you. So yeah, you can go ahead and share your screen and
Perfect.
and start showing us how to improve.
Okay, sounds good. So we will start. I think we picked 7 websites. So let's start with Rachel Reynolds. So I'm going to try to go quick through these, but if you have any questions, I'll definitely address them later. So we're looking at Rachel Reynolds' interior design website, and I'm just going to jump into the first things that I see here. So one of the first things that I see above this above the fold is I feel like there may be a little bit too much Rachel going on, because first of all, this is the homepage. This is what we see when you land. So when you land first time on this website, this is your above the fold section that I was talking about earlier. And right now there is a little bit of an overwhelm of Rachel. So we see Rachel in the logo. We see Rachel in the main headline. I'm Rachel Reynolds, interior designer. And then we see Rachel Reynolds here on the right. Too much of that. And what I said earlier, if you remember, that your audience has to be, your website has to be audience centric, meaning when the website visitors land on your website, it has to speak to them. We already know, it's a given that this is your website. So you don't really need to introduce yourself here, at least not on the homepage. And then again, even the words like, I am Rachel Reynolds, I help my clients understand, it's very you-centered rather than your audience centered. What you want to do instead is rephrase that and speak to your audience. So this is prime real estate. So definitely use this prime real estate to actually call out your audience. Who do you help? How do you help? And create a really strong headline right above the fold. Another thing that I will mention is, as we scroll down, what we see on Rachel's website is her process. This is probably, I love that there is a process, but it's probably not the best place to outline your process. Think of your homepage as a gateway. I kind of sometimes give an example that your homepage is kind of like a triage in the emergency center. Probably not the best example, but it needs to guide you. Your homepage needs to guide your website visitors to all the other parts on the website. You want to help them explore the website. So you've got the process here. This is probably better suited for your services page. Instead, put a little bit of a kind of like a teaser here to say that, hey, this is my process, but still in an audience-centric way. And then link to your process or your services page. Same thing here. And another thing that I'm going to mention for this website is this is your call to action section at the bottom of the page. So remember how I told you that one of the roles that your website plays is actually to guide people to a specific action. So get in touch is probably not the best headline for this section. You want to communicate something with more evocative. You want to promise a transformation. You want to say something about how you help, how you provide value to your customers. That's what you want to do here, really. And then get in touch could be the text for this button. And then this will lead them to the Contact Us button. And then this is great, actually, American Society of Interior Designers. So this is kind of like your social proof. This acts like social proof. It signals trust. I would put it maybe somewhere above the fold, just so it shows up a little bit sooner. And I think I wanted to switch one more time here to the About page, which is great. I absolutely love the photo here. But you could definitely use this section more effectively. Get to me as an interior designer, a friend, a project coach, a partner in design. This is great, but I would also use it a little bit lower. Here in this section, like I said, this is prime real estate. You want to communicate an evocative promise. You want to remind people of what's that thing that you help your clients do. And first of all, who do you help? I think it should be important right away to your interior design client who you help. Also, just a small advice, but don't capitalize every single word in a sentence. It's just hard on the eyes. Like if you were to use lowercase, it's going to be a lot easier to read. It's just easier on the eyes. And this is actually an example of a big block of text. You can easily take that and split it into a couple of sections and give it headers. It becomes a lot more skimmable and scannable. So this is what I would say about this website. I think we've covered strong call to action, process should be on the services page, and just better use of above the fold. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And actually, maybe I don't need to stop sharing. I can just...
You can hop to the next tab. Yeah, that was fantastic. That was super
cool. Okay, so you can see that I'm switching to the next tab.
Not yet. We're still seeing Rachel Reynolds.
Oh, okay. So I do need to stop share. So I'm going
to so you have to stop sharing each time. Okay, interesting.
Yes. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to present it again, and I'm going to share a screen, and then we're going to hop into the next website. Let me know if you see that.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it now.
Cool. So we're looking at She's Got an Eye, which is absolutely beautiful, beautiful website. I love it. So let's talk about this. So what I'm loving here is that I'm loving that you're starting with a pain point here. You're talking about, I think somewhere here I saw that you're talking about meeting your needs. You're talking about effortless refresh. Hold on, let me just make sure that I am on the homepage. I am on the homepage. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about, first of all, the question that you asked here is you wanted some feedback on the overall flow and explaining our services. So I wanted to focus on what you actually want to know. So when we land on this homepage and when we scroll a little bit down, we see these are the services. And then when we link to them, we actually get to the services page. So I wanted to focus on that. So first things first, I absolutely love that you're focusing here on the pain points of your clients, because that's what you're supposed to do in order to emotionally connect to the right type of audience. You're talking about how renovations are stressful and it's never easy the way you anticipate or think about it, and you just want to skip to the point. By the way, great language. It's very conversational. I love it. And so you're talking about pain points, meaning when your audience lands on this page, they feel heard. They feel that, okay, so this designer really understands what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, how stressful it is. And then in this section, still in the introductory section, you're talking about, since we recognize everyone has different needs and wants, we offer a range of packages. Great. So as a prospective client, as a website visitor, what I'm expecting next is a bunch of packages. And I'm expecting packages so I can pick and choose which one feels good to me, which one kind of aligns with my situation. What I see here instead is area of expertise. And as a website visitor, I am kind of questioning, well, are these the packages? If these are in fact packages, all you need is just to rename them kind of, these are the packages. I'm assuming this is kind of like a table of contents, and then we go down and we actually see details of each of the packages. So just make sure that it's not confusing to your audience what it is that you're presenting them with. If you're saying that you will be presenting them with packages, definitely do that. And maybe, I think sometimes it's just literally adding a bit of an eyebrow copy. Eyebrow copy is just a small kind of mini headline right above the name of the package, and just say package number 1, package number 2, package number 3, package number 4, package number 5. So, okay, 5 packages. I do think sometimes it is a little bit too much having so many packages, but I will preface this by saying that if the packages are drastically different, then it is okay, because they have to be different. But if they are somewhat similar, then this creates a bit of confusion on your audience's part, and they start questioning, well, which one am I? What do I need? I'm not sure. And confusion usually leads to inaction. And inaction meaning they just don't buy. So rename them just so it's a lot more streamlined. So this is great. The one thing that I did want to mention, you're presenting 5 of your packages. This seems to be your most expensive package, the curated look. To me, this is a little bit confusing, but it is only confusing to me only because I'm not sure if this is your full service interior design package. I think it is. If that's what it is, I would almost not rename it, but maybe, like I said, put an eyebrow copy. This is, or maybe explain it in the copy down below that this is your full service interior design package. We do it all. We do the heavy lifting. Another thing that I wanted to mention, this seems to be your most expensive package. And this has the kind of the smallest amount of copy. And this is almost counterintuitive. So the most expensive package, you need a bit more kind of selling. You need to do a bit more selling, a bit more explaining. So you want to explain what it is, who it is for. Actually, it would be great to put it for all of them, for every single package, to say who this package is for. It's saying something like ideal for, somebody who wants just not to do any heavy lifting and done for you service. This is who this package is ideal for. And then do a bit more copy explaining what it is that you're doing and what's included in this process. And then soon after, you see the creative process. And I'm also wondering whether this creative process applies to all the other packages that we've seen above. And I'm not sure that it does. I'm not sure if this creative process applies to your virtual design and your staging and styling. I'm getting questions like, is this the same audience for all of these packages, or are we talking about different audiences? All of these things need to be clear. So the goal of your website messaging is actually to completely eliminate the confusion. So make the deciding part a lot more easier on your audience's part. Make sure it's clearly explained how it works. And one more thing that I would mention is that when you say how this works in your copy, I almost suggest that you do a bullet point. For example, here you're saying in the virtual design and in the staging and styling how you work. Instead, create a couple of bullet points and actually explain your process. If it is different from this creative process, then drop a couple of bullets, like maybe 4 or 5 bullets. This is how we start to work together. You've got a 15-minute consult, then you send us the video, and then we go from there. Book a date. So to make it easier so people actually understand how it works. And I think I've covered everything on this website. The one more thing that I will mention is adding a strong call to action right over here. So a call to action, remember, this is not just the button, how we can help, but it also like an evocative promise. You remind your website visitors of what is that transformation that you promised to your ideal clients. And this copy I thought was great. I just thought that I would love to have this copy actually way above, because this, have a space that has been on your to-do list for way too long. And I feel like all of us, it resonates with so many of us. This is a pain point, like a clear pain point. I would put it way above the fold. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And Diana, do you want to maybe...
Do you want to hop into a question or two? Or say it again?
Would you want to tell me whether I'm getting close on my time, like 5 minutes?
You're doing good. I think you're doing good because you were going to do 7. Yeah. And we have some questions. So we'll get to those at the end.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you're doing 7. You've done 2. We're only at 26 minutes. Okay. So yeah, you're doing great.
Okay.
You're rapid firing. We love it.
Oh, good. All right. So let me present again, and we will go to next one is lovinghomes.ca, and I'm just looking where I have it open here. Lovinghomes.ca. I'm not sure if I am getting the Loving Homes because I don't see the... Yes, this is it. Okay, cool.
We can see it.
Okay, awesome. So here's another beautiful website with a beautiful photo above the fold. I am not seeing any words. And remember what I said, that your words have to work in tandem with your photos. So we do see photos we do see the words right here down below, but I would love to see it just a little bit higher. And I know design elements sometimes does not permit that, but ideally you would have words working together with your images. So here, the first thing that I notice is a very designer-focused copy. We want to work with you to refresh or furnish your home rather than audience-centric copy. Styling interiors to live and to love. It's actually a great headline, but as far as the copy below the headline, I would want it to be a lot more audience-centric to speak to your ideal clients. And what I love about this one is that, well, first of all, there's only 3 options to choose from, which is great. And it looks like they're very different from each other, which means it's going to be very easy for your ideal clients, for your website visitors to actually understand which option fits their needs, because local design, which I'm assuming it is a full service interior design local, is very different from virtual e-design and very different from 1-hour consultation. So you already eliminated the confusion on your audience's part. You have 3 distinct offers, which is great. What you wanted some help with is packaging. Yes, packaging, pricing, layout. And the good thing is that you can actually do it with DesignFiles. I'm sure, the platform allows you to actually make purchasing decisions, like actually embed purchasing links, I believe, right on the website, which is great. So that's what I would do if you want to streamline this process a little bit. Let's talk about these specifically. So the first thing, again, here, we would love to meet with you in person and work with you. I feel that a lot more effective would be if you were to start with a problem, outlining a problem that your audience, ideal audience for this specific package, would have. Let's start with that, because what you want to do is you want to connect with them emotionally so they understand, okay, so she clearly knows what I'm going through. She clearly understands my pain points, and this is how she can help. So when we click on the dedicated pages, you go to specific, which is great. For SEO, this is great. You go to specific pages, and then you have information about this specific service here. What's missing for me here when I get to this dedicated one of the services is actually the headline. You want, again, your headline should be above the fold. It should be an evocative promise. It could be a transformation that you promise to your clients, rather than jumping straight into what's included. This is great that this is what's included, but use this prime real estate to actually connect to your audience and really help them understand that they are in the right place. You do understand their pain points, and this is how you can help them. So later, when you scroll down the page, this is when you can outline, these are the things that you're including. These are the things that are included in this offer. The thing that I would mention for this specific website is that benefits over features. That's actually very important. Right now, these are what you're listing here these are the features. Instead, focus on the benefits. What is the benefit of all of these things? What is the value that you provide to your clients? So include a few lines here that speak to the value that you provide by including all of these things as part of your design process. So just remember, benefits over features, because it's like there's this saying, you're not selling mattress, you're selling a good night's sleep. So same thing goes here. You're not just offering space planning and layouts and color palettes and mood boards and plans. What are you really selling? You're selling this amazing transformation for their home by using all of these things, by having all of this, all the expertise in all of these areas. So the main comment here is benefits over features. And then here, I would definitely use a little bit more copy, just explaining these are some of the common rooms and small spaces that you service. Just use a bit more copy here. I would also highlight these prices, since you are adding prices. Not everyone adds prices, but it's great because some customers definitely are looking to know. They don't want to waste their time. They just want to know how much this package costs. So I would just highlight it a little bit better, because right now it kind of blends in a little bit. And I love that you have a process. It's a step-by-step process. The only thing that I'm missing here at the bottom of this page is a strong call to action. So the one thing that I want you to remember about the call to action is not just the button. You need a promise. You need something that would compel your audience to actually click on the button. So having a section here in the footer, something that reminds them of the transformation that you help your audience achieve, and then something that drives them, something that makes them want to click on Let's Connect. Also go back. I'm not sure, why do we want to go back? This is just an extra step that we don't really need, because you can always scroll up and click on all the other things if you want to continue exploring the website. So that's what I wanted to cover here. Sorry?
Oh, super helpful.
Awesome. Good. Okay. So maybe I'm just making sure that I covered everything. I think another thing, just one last thing that I wanted to mention, what would be helpful for this page is to actually show what's included, how it works, how long it takes, because I feel like this is such a great service, because not everybody wants to take on like a smaller project, like just an office redo. But as a prospective customer of this kind of offer, I would want to know how long it takes, am I the right customer, how much it is, how it works, what's required of me, what's going to be involved in this process. And then you can include a link, and Design Files will allow you to do that, to actually buy the service right away. This way you're just streamlining this process.
Yes, love it.
Okay, cool. So the next one is Jennifer Smith Design, and I'm going to do this again. Jennifer Smith Design. Okay, there you go. Okay.
Got it.
Sounds good. You see everything?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so we are on the home page of Jennifer Smith, and Jennifer, you had a question. I need to add projects, but I'm afraid it will be too much, and I need to streamline, so more photos projects isn't too much. Okay, so as far as projects go, the more the merrier. I would love that, but I see what's happening here. You've got projects on the home page, and that should not be there. You could have a couple, but that should not be there, because right now, what I see on your homepage, so if I am your prospective customer, if I am a website visitor and I land on your website, I see you, I meet you, this is great, I see the designer, and all I see is projects. I do not want to see the projects yet. I'm not ready to see the projects. And first of all, second of all, projects should be appearing in your projects page. And I'm not sure if you have your projects page. So the first thing that I would do, I would actually create a projects page, a dedicated projects page, which is your core page on your website. And that's where take all of these things and drop them there. Your homepage, as a reminder, is a gateway to help your audience explore the rest of the website, help them make that decision to connect with you. You want to guide them. You are the host of this party. This is your website. You want to guide them to that next step. So on your homepage, what I want to see here is a solid above the fold section with a strong headline that communicates who Jennifer is, who this interior design studio is, what they're all about, what kind of customers do they serve? Because as a prospective customer, as a website visitor, when I land on this website, right now, I do not see one word of copy. All I'm seeing is just photos of the projects. So that's where I would focus efforts first. So that's a fairly easy fix. Dedicated portfolio page. And then you also wanted to show in progress work, which is great. So what I would simply, just to clarify for the audience, Jennifer wanted to see a way how she can feature her finished, completed projects and then in the works project. So honestly, I would create a dedicated projects page and then maybe a subset or another section within that page that shows something like in the making, on the boards, a work in progress, current projects, something like that. And then you can lay out the projects that you're currently working on and maybe even a link to subscribe to your newsletter or social media where designers typically update their audience, their followers on what's going on with their business right now. And then I think another page that we wanted to check out is, okay, let's talk about the About page. On the About page, again, when you land on your About page, the first thing that we want to see is a strong headline. I am missing a headline here. You go straight into who Jennifer is, which is, yes, this is your About page. This is about Jennifer. But what we want to do is have a headline. Headlines are critical because actually there's like a statistic. I can't remember what it is, but more people read your headlines rather than the actual body copy. I think it goes like 8 people out of 10 read the headlines and not the copy. So headlines are absolutely critical. I would include lots of headlines. So on this page, at least one main headline that would communicate the transformation that you help your audience achieve. And then we can talk about who Jennifer is. This list of services should not be on this About page. It should be on your services page. And I'm not sure if you have this is kind of like how it works is your services page. So I would move that list there and elaborate, provide a bit more copy here. So like this is a headline, how it works. This is great. This tells me exactly what I want to find because when I click on the how it works page, I expect to find how it works. How do you work? How does Jennifer provide her services? So that's what I would do. And I love that you've broken down your services into easy to understand sections. See, you're using headlines here: construction, consultation, styling, designer for a day. These are all headlines. So even if you're looking at your own user experience, your attention jumps straight into the headlines rather than the body copy. If you want to make sure that this content is read, include a couple of lines of copy, and then bullet points. Bullet points kind of act like headlines. Your eye jumps straight to the bullet points because it's easily digestible, it's skimmable and scannable. So this is what I wanted to cover here. And one more thing I will mention is the call to action. Interested but not sure what fits best. This is great, but it needs a bit more copy. It needs, so what? It needs a bit more copy to actually entice me to click. And another thing that I will mention, click here to set up a call to chat. This is way too long. You could simply remove this text and include a button. I don't know, let's chat or something like that. Don't use words like click here. It's pretty redundant. We already know that it's going to be, it needs to be clicked. But as a rule of thumb, hyperlinked text, or actually the button is easier to click when it's not a hyperlink text. And sometimes you don't really know that this is the text that you want them to click. So you want a solid, strong call to action section here with the clear button. So that's what I wanted to highlight here.
All right.
Okay. Actually, I did want to mention one more thing, but I can mention it on other. Jennifer has a reviews tab on her website. And what I usually suggest to my clients, don't just have a customer testimonial page. Okay, Jennifer is in the chat, so I'm happy that you're here. But when you have a customer testimonial page, you're relying on people going to that page. Not everybody is going to go and check out that page, and customer testimonials are absolutely important. So instead, take those customer testimonials from your reviews tab and actually sprinkle them strategically across your website. This way, you're just giving people what they want on the pages that they actually visited, rather than waiting for them to check out your dedicated customer testimonial page. All right, so let's continue. And the next one is Ashley Williams. Okay. All right. So Ashley, sorry, and I'm not sure if I'm mispronouncing it. Wilms probably.
Yeah.
So I apologize. So Ashley, you wanted to know how much is too much copy. The first thing that I will say, this is not enough copy. So definitely go for more copy, because you want to help. This picture alone will not help. So you've got tailor and beautiful spaces, but it is not enough to make that decision to get you interested in scrolling down. First of all, this thing is a bit in my way. I know this is probably, not your lead magnet, but this is an invitation to join your newsletter. The one thing that I will say is this is not compelling enough. So this is kind of like a call to action, but it should be more like a call to value. What am I going to find when I join your newsletter? Give me a good enough reason so I can join. When I see interior designers say things like join our newsletter or stay in touch or, just join our email list, it's not enough of a reason for me to join your list. Tell me what I'll find. What are you going to be sharing there? Is it going to be monthly updates? Is it going to be project updates? Is it going to be like exciting trends that you're going to be exploring? So give me enough of a good reason. Otherwise, if I don't click on it, I can't really get rid of it. And this is in my way. So you want to, I'm not going to repeat myself of what I already covered on other websites, but you do want to have a strong headline and then a bit of copy to explain what this company is all about, how you help clients. So offering virtual design, full service design and consultation. Again, you go into the design process, and similar to what I reviewed on the previous website, the design process is best talked about on the process or services page. Great, you have a services page. That's where you should use that. This page, and not to feature your work. Maybe sometimes you do have a smaller section to feature your work, but I will repeat myself again that your homepage is your gateway. You want to help your audience explore the website, because when you help explore your website, when you help your audience do that, you help them, inform them along the way, inform them of what your kind of introduce your company, who you serve, the audience that you serve, how you help, your process. You help them make that decision to click, to connect with you a lot easier. So this is how I would treat this homepage. And then we click on the services page. You've got a lot of text here, which is great. I would break it up definitely into sections and even add some bullet points, because your original question was how much is too much text. This is not too much text, but the way it is presented, it's too dense. It's almost overwhelming for me to look at. So break it up into scannable sections, add some headlines. You've got some headlines, great headlines here. However, I would use some bullet points in between just to kind of break it up so it's easier on the eyes. And another thing that I would want to know is who this offer is for. Before you ask me to purchase a virtual design package, I feel like I need to know a bit more. Who is the designer? Because right now, what's missing for me is actually, you're missing an about page.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to purchase a virtual design package without knowing who that designer that performs the interior design. So I want to know more. Maybe I'm missing it, but I don't think oh, okay, I see what you mean. You have it hidden here on the more. More is not descriptive enough. So I would want, okay, now I see you. That's amazing. But I would want to have a dedicated about page right in the menu. So I know what you actually are all about and how you help. This is too much text. I would break it up. I would maybe start with, what you do for your clients, what your design process is like, and then, about Ashley, or up close and personal. And then you talk about your background. So first on the about page, which is actually what I often see is, it's just kind of like a dump of everything that I am, everything, all the education that I've gone through. I absolutely love when designers share stories about where they've come from, because that's actually one of their differentiators, because interior designers they're similar to other interior designers, but your story cannot be replicated. So it's wonderful that you're sharing the story and where you've come from, and about your dad here, about your family, but break it up in a way that makes sense. So first, about what you do right now, how you help your clients right now, so your audience can clearly understand that, yep, they're in the right place. Ashley is the one who can help me solve my problems, and then give more. So share something personal about Ashley. So that's what I would do here. Let me just.
So yeah, we are at like 47 minutes. So I think the last two, we'll just have to do them in maybe like 2 to 3 minutes each, so we can get some time for some questions.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. So we've got Maggie.
You're doing great. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Oh my God, I'm going fast. Okay.
You're going fast. You've got
this. Okay, sounds good. All right, Maggie. Okay, so again, we see a beautiful picture. That's great. The one thing that I often see, and I'm seeing it here, welcoming. You don't need to welcome anyone to your website because they're already here. So forget the welcome. They're already here. No need to welcome. The beauty of interior design could be stronger. You need a stronger, evocative headline. The beauty of interior design is kind of like it stops and it doesn't really communicate anything else. So, however, this section does. And I love that you have it here. You love current trends, but you appreciate the antique. Your lifestyle is classic, but modern. I think a lot of clients can resonate with that. So you're clearly calling out the type of customer that you're after. However, what you, Maggie, wanted to know is, hold on, am I talking to Maggie? I think so. We're not sure. I need to up my game with a copy. My website doesn't speak to me anymore. So I feel like I want to know more. Does it not speak to you anymore, meaning to your customer? If that's the case, that maybe this needs to change. But if you're still attracting the right type of customer, then this works because you're clearly calling out someone who kind of appreciates a little bit of everything. Contact us could be a little bit stronger. You could be a little bit more specific in terms of what you want them to do next. Our services, from styling to full service, your design will be original, thoughtful, and systemized. I'm glad that you're using you rather than talking about your services. But honestly, I would want to see your picture here. I kind of want to know on the homepage who the designer is and a little bit more detail about it. Let's jump quickly to the about page because I think I've seen something there that I wanted to highlight. Okay, so we see your about page should be speaking directly to your ideal audience. So yes, you're providing information about who you are, but what I want to see here first is actually the above the fold should be all about calling out your audience, the transformation that you provide, the big promise that you're making, and then introducing Maggie. So that's what you want to do, because at the end of the day, we want to connect with our ideal audience. And if you're just jumping to introducing yourself, then you're missing that critical opportunity to connect with your audience. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to switch again. And I think we're on our last one.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So let's go to Pamela. I don't see Pamela. Is it Pamela?
PamelaWilliams.design.
Yes, I see it. Okay, sharing. Okay, sounds good. So, okay, this is what I have to say about, I love the design portion of this for sure. It looks beautiful. It looks crisp. What I felt when I landed on this page is designing to empower you. We empower you to live an elevated quality of life by masterfully creating spaces that are an outer representation of the inner you, inner design through interior design. I felt that this copy was a little bit too clever. So I know, like, a lot of people think that copywriting is all about clever copy, something that sounds really great. Copywriting is actually copy that sells, copy that's so crystal clear that it leaves no confusion. So to me, this was a little bit too clever, because I found myself hesitating. What does that mean? Outer representation of the inner you, and then inner design through interior design. I'd love to know more. I'm sure this is some type of signature framework, because there's a trademark there. I want to know more, basically. I want for you to explain this a little bit easier for me to understand. What does that mean? What it is that you do, and what do those concepts mean? And then here you're going straight to e-design packages. So what this tells me, that e-design package is actually your main service, which is great because it is so niche. You're not even talking about full interior design service. You're going straight to e-design packages. But to me, there is a bit of a disconnect between this headline, designing to empower you, and this section, straight to e-design packages. So if you want to promote your e-design packages, then your main copy, your headline, and your subhead should be speaking to e-design packages. One thing to outline, to really highlight here, this is a great social proof bar. You've got all of these recognizable logos. The one thing that I will mention here, why hire an interior designer? Better benefits. I'm not sure if we want to be talking about the benefits of why hiring an interior designer. If we're talking about e-design, then you want to be talking about why bring on an interior design for you for the e-design. So you want to talk about the right benefits. If e-design is in fact the right package, then let's talk about e-design here. So the benefits that connect to e-design. And Pamela, your questions were, does it have enough CTAs, and how and where is the best to place CTAs? It has CTAs, but they're not specific enough. So for example, if we're talking about benefits here, what does the CTA do? Does it does it link to the about, meaning about the designer? Or what would make sense is actually learn more about our services. So if you're talking about here, why bring on an interior designer? What are the benefits? Then let's talk about the services. That's the most kind of obvious thing to highlight here. Then you've got get started today. So again, we're talking about this call to action. I'm not sure if you should be leading people or linking people to book right away, because I don't think I'm ready to book yet. I need to know a little bit more. Remember, your homepage is the gateway to other places on your website. So maybe the right call to action here would be how it works, and then you link them to the services, so to your process page, which I'm not sure if you have. You do. It's called e-design, actually. So maybe let's drive your website visitors here so they can actually learn more about what you do and how you do e-design services, how it works. Great. I would love to see a bit of an introductory section, something that you covered in your homepage, like the benefits of hiring an interior designer for e-design services. I would love to see it here, just for the copy to connect a bit more. Yay. I hope it was of value. I know I went super fast.
You did it. That was great. You did it. You
Take a sip of
deserve
water.
a big sip of water. I was going to say, you deserve a big sip of water after that. That was
Right.
great. Thank you so much. So one quick question. Are you okay if we go like 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
cool. So we actually, which I didn't think about adding this into the workshop, but we actually got some questions on like an example from you, and I checked out like you have a wonderful portfolio page. I wonder if you would be okay with actually showing us Zinnia Design Studio, which is like your top piece on your portfolio, because I opened that up and I was like, oh, that headline. And I think it'll actually show what, when you're saying evocative headlines, I'm seeing those, so yeah, I wonder if you could just kick things off by you showing us that.
Oh, yeah, of course. And tell me if you have any specific questions. Zinnia Design. So this is Patricia Knight that we just launched her website. And I absolutely love, first of all, like when you have an amazing designer working on the site, the words just look so much better with a professional design. So I have to highlight that. So yeah, so this is the design that this is the messaging. I worked on the messaging, and then Patricia of Fancy Girl Design worked on the design portion of this website. So yeah, so Patricia is my client, Patricia Knight. Her big thing was luxury interiors for real life. So this is what we're talking about. I know luxury is such an overused term, but here we're talking about for like the real messy living. So I try to communicate that concept throughout different parts of her website. So see, this is the homepage. And then as we scroll down, we kind of provide a bit more copy. We're helping guide the user behavior. We're giving them a bit more to understand what does that actually mean, comfortable elegance for everyday living. So here we're talking about, we believe that true luxury is creating an intimate embrace between elegance and ease. So here I'm talking a little bit about what Patricia does. And then here you've got the section about Patricia, and then learn more. That would drive website visitors to a dedicated about page. And on the about page is actually, and here we've got customer testimonials, which of course act as social proof. We've got a bit of a section on services. And then again, it's a gateway. So we're going to drive to another page. So when we skip to the about page, we see about us, we see what this boutique firm is all about. We're talking about the studio. We use creative bullet points just so it's easier in the eyes. So notice the sections. They're broken up. They're very clean, 3 lines per paragraph, not more. Very easy to understand. And then we created, this is a section, obviously social proof, to share customer testimonials. Then we're having, you're actually officially meeting who Patricia is. She's the founder and creative director, a bit of her story. And then what I created here is her design philosophy, because design philosophy is something like I'm so passionate about. I love when my clients have that. When they hire me, sometimes they have the design philosophy, but they don't have it articulated. So I help them articulate it into this design philosophy, into a succinct statement that you can then promote, because then this thing becomes the thing that sets you apart. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about call to action. This is the call to action. So if you notice that it's not just the button, start your project with us, but I'm using a headline, true luxury is elevated yet quiet comfort. Let us guide you through your home transformation process. We'll handle every detail with care, striking the perfect balance between the aesthetic appeal and functionality of your home. So I'm giving them a reason to click on start the project. I'm connecting to them emotionally. I'm telling them the value rather than what we do, because we're going to hold your hand. We're going to make it super easy for you. So
I love this example because you have that core message, right? That it's quiet luxury for real everyday life, busy, messy, but it's like the solution for that. So you've kind of got, it's a very kind of suave way of like mentioning the problem without like, digging into the pain points a lot, making it more elevated, more aspirational.
Yeah. And see, like even for the services, a lot of the times all you need is services, but you want to go a step further. You want to do another secondary headline, taking you on a seamless design journey. You want to make people want to scroll, because they might not. They may just jump here and just kind of balance, but you're giving them a reason to scroll a little bit further. And here we've got a few packages. We've got full service design, we've got Luxe Designer for a day, and we've got concierge renovation. So just 3 packages, nothing overwhelming. They're distinctly different. This is for new builds. This is a Luxe for a day. And I'm outlining exactly who this is for. So here we're saying indulge in the ultimate luxury of personalized design experience. This is perfect. This is a perfect way for you to quickly get the clarity that you need to walk away with actionable next steps. So I'm providing people value. I'm not just telling you what this package is all about, but I'm actually telling you how you can benefit, who this is for. And I'm giving you examples of, hey, we can just create concept mood boards, offering guidance on furniture placement, paint color selections, like all the things that you could get if you purchase this Luxe Designer for a day. Same thing with full service design. And then you go for portfolio. The one thing that I would mention, because I didn't have time to go to those 7 design websites, is their projects. I would definitely have some type of copy for your projects, because you don't want to let just those pictures speak on your behalf. You want to use a bit of copy. You want to paint like the breadth, the variety of the works that you do. And here we're communicating that she works from Pennsylvania to Virginia to New York, kind of all the places that she's been and helped design people's spaces. So
love it. Another thing I noticed with that website is like the clear connection from, this section with this button to this page. Because sometimes, like, if you're building your own website, you might think it makes sense, but you really have to take a step back and like make sure that each button in each section is self-contained and really, flows and is a journey that makes sense from somebody that doesn't know you and is coming to your site, for the first time. So thank you so much for sharing that example. I think that really helps kind of contextualize a lot of the advice that you've been giving. So I have a few questions that I pulled out from the chat. So one of the questions is, what's your thought on like a 1-page website versus multiple pages? Like, I'm assuming 1 page is just not enough for interior designers, but what's your thoughts?
Sometimes it is. It all depends on how it is designed, if it's intuitive. Because even if it's a 1-page, I think there's a term for 1-page website, like a waterfall design. That's what it's called. I feel like a web designer may correct me, but it doesn't really matter as long as the information is there. It doesn't matter the format as long as the structure is there. And like you said, Diana, you mentioned that the journey is there. You have to have a clearly outlined journey. That's because you want to start with website strategy. What is the strategy? What is the goal? You want to get people from A to B. So I don't care if it's a 1-pager, as long as there's a clearly outlined journey. So you start with, introducing a problem. Well, with interior design clients, you actually introduce paint a transformation rather than communicate a problem, but you do it like subtly. So you start with the transformation, then again, treat that 1-pager as a gateway. Then you go into introducing who the designer is, then how we work, then a little bit about our projects, then a little bit about, the services or the different packages. So it doesn't matter as long as there's a clearly outlined journey and all the copy is there, because there's such a thing as not enough copy and too much copy. So you have to strike a balance, because the goal of your website really is not just to answer questions, but also anticipate the questions, because interior designer is a luxury service. We all know that. It is an expensive service. So it's not a decision easily made. You have to anticipate people's questions and overcome their objections without them even knowing that. So I go for both, like 1-pager, regular 5-page website, as long as it provides enough information for people to make the decision.
Right. And 1 page could be good if you're just, starting out, which leads me to that question. We did get like just any tips for writing a website when you're just starting out.
Yeah, when you're just starting out, I think you want to cover your basics. The first thing is knowing your audience. I know it's very hard to know who you are after, but I think the advice that you would get from experts is that advice that we all got when we started our business. It's who it is that you want to serve. What is that ideal customer avatar? So start there. Have that one person in mind, very specific type of customer that you want to work with. So be a little bit aspirational. Who do you want to work with? Paint that picture, clearly outline, okay, this is John and Mary, and they are married with a couple of kids, and then write your website copy specifically for them. Don't write it for everyone. Write it specifically for them. Start there. And then as you get a good client base and you start to understand, I'm getting those kind of clients, which is great. It aligns. But if you're getting different kind of clients and you're liking the direction that you're naturally going in, tweak the messaging to speak to that client that you're attracting or you want to attract. But the one advice that I would give is have a specific customer in mind and write for that specific customer. That's the whole thing about niching down. When you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. So you want to have a specific customer in mind and speak to that customer.
Right. I love that. I mentioned kind of like reiterating. It's like once, you target this person, if it's not working or it is working, you kind of refine based on that, but you still have to have a specific person in mind. You just need to be updating that versus leaving it open. Yeah. So we do have an SEO workshop on our website, guys. If you go to DesignFiles.co, we have resources there because we did get some questions on SEO. So we were focused more on messaging and conversion and sales here. So if you guys have SEO questions, make sure to check out that separate workshop. However, I did want to ask you, we did get a question. When it comes to services pages, for SEO specifically, does it make more sense to have one service page or separate service pages?
All depends on what you want to target. Honestly, an SEO expert probably will tell you separate services pages. So if you have, depending, when you look at your services, if you have a 50-50 ratio of full service interior design service that you're trying to sell, and let's say virtual design or just styling, I would have 2 dedicated pages and then take each dedicated page and literally expand on what you do there. If it has 2 separate processes, then yes, it would make sense to have 2 dedicated processes. But if you have, for example, what I often see is commercial and residential interior design. And oftentimes it simply shows up on one page because this interior designer still wants to attract restaurant business, commercial spaces, retail business, but the majority of their customer base coming from the residential, then it just makes sense. It doesn't make sense to have an entire page dedicated to commercial interior design because majority of your client base is coming from the interior design business. It all depends on where your clients are coming from and if you're okay with this or if you want more of that business. So if you want more of that other commercial interior design, whatever it is, it could be virtual design, then do put a little bit more effort in creating a dedicated page. For Google and other search engines, the more pages and quality content, the better. I think the way the SEO experts explain is the more spiders are kind of crawling your different pages. So different pages is good for SEO. Quality content, quality over quantity.
Right. And you typically want to have one main key phrase, for each page. So it's if your services are similar enough where you just want to target a residential term, then maybe you could have one. But if you have different things, then it could make sense to split them. So our last question is, how much copy is too much copy? So we kind of covered this, how can we kind of, is there numbers we can know to say a range, each page should be 300 to 800 words? What's your thoughts on striking the balance between too much and too little? Because I feel like that was a common theme with a lot of the websites, because it actually seemed like most of them were on the too little side.
It is, in the interior design, because it is a visually based business, people focus a lot more on visuals rather than copy. I would love to answer that question. There is no hard rule, 350 to 500, I would say is a good number to aim for per page. But what we've seen already as I was doing these audits is it's important how you organize this information, how you present this information. I've worked with SEO experts that would ask me for, okay, on this page, we're trying to target like I worked with a windows and doors company, and they're like, okay, we need 750 words for this page to rank. Like SEO people have their own kind of idea of what each page should be. I would honestly say I stick to 350 to 500, but make it skimmable and scannable with lots of headlines and easy to understand so you don't overwhelm your audience. And another way to answer that question is you need to provide your website visitors enough information to actually make that decision, to make them want to connect with you. So have you taken the time to explain who you are, what you do, who you serve? So however many words it takes to actually answer all of those questions and anticipate some hesitations and overcome people's objections, that's how many words it take.
Right. I love it. So we got the range, but we also got the it depends. So I love it. I think that's a really great place to end. Thank you so much for today. We're getting tons of, thank yous. And a lot of people are saying that now they know exactly how to improve their website. So people are like ready to take action. They're like, oh, now I see what I need to fix, which was definitely the purpose of this workshop. So thank you so much. And everybody, you can check out more about Masha's work at contentvertical.com.
Yeah, it's actually on the last slide if you'll be sharing the slide later.
Oh, yeah, we can hop into the slides.
Yeah, let's just show my...
There we are, yes.
And definitely connect with me on Instagram. I'm there almost every day. I'm sharing a ton of information there. I'm doing audits sometimes just in the stories, and I'm also sharing content, like helpful content in terms of what to do on your website, messaging and marketing in general, all kinds of things on my Instagram. So definitely the place to find me, or on my website. Don't judge my website too harsh because I'm like in the process of redoing it. I'm that shoemaker without the shoes.
That's how it goes, right? But yeah, your portfolio section has a ton of other examples so people can really see like more inspiration and stuff. So fantastic. Thank you so much for, putting all the effort into auditing these websites and being with us here today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks so much, Diana. Thank you, Design Files, for having me.
Bye.
Bye.